So I've made up another form here just for fun to continue as promised. How do you get data out of this? It's very critical before you do any of this kind of stuff is right here, the name of it. I named it text get some text. Here, text or label. These are labels, right? They're not text boxes. Like if you look here, that's actually a place where you're going to be entering text. What do I mean by that? If I run this, you see it's like you can type text in here, and here I have to type a number, and then you click something and you do something and it outputs that. So the naming is critical to keep track of everything. So you can see that I named them all. I called this one label output. This is critical because this is where the output's going. So now if I go into my source code, I go under the button code as discussed earlier today. And I have all my variables. Here's the key elements. This is what gets text from this text box, and this is the other text box. And that's the method that's used to actually go into here, get this text out, and get this text out. Now you'll notice that I said text and text even though I entered a number. That's very important to understand. If it's text, anytime you type something in a text box, it's always text. So what you have to do later is, that's what this line does. If you want to start doing any calculations where you require integers or doubles, then you have to convert it. And there's several methods. This is the integer class. It's the integer class, and this is the parse int method. Sorry. Basically what it does is you feed it a string that looks like a number, like 10, 12, 14, 20, -1. And you give it that number, which is in the text box, and then it's going to spit out an integer. So that's what all this stuff does. And there's also parse double. So for parse double, you'd change this to double, and you'd change this to double. Spell it out, uppercase. We'll go through that a little later in the course, but that's the idea. So once I do this, I can have a calculation. Here I'm multiplying by 10 in this case. I store the results here, and then I build a string to output everything here. And this is I guess the last piece key to the puzzle. This is my output box that I labeled right here. It has a name. Over here, label output, and then finally it outputs whatever this string output is, this big long string output. Okay, and I actually build the string output in 2 lines here. All right, so that's it. That's the gist of this DogAge assignment. The rest is just the logic that's inside and being able to convert from integers to strings, and that's all in the content, and you have to read that. Thanks.